and all the things that God has given unto us, using them to the utmost of our abilities, and much more, showcasing the young ones, the young generations, how they are using what they have been blessed with in such amazing ways, such amazing ways. Okay, such amazing ways. All right, whilst we are waiting for our guests to join us, we've been talking about that. We've been talking about the awesomeness of the gift that God has given everybody, and how it is important that we use it well. Now, the era we run from all that we have seen that has happened or happening in our country, Nigeria, that how be it so that when it seems as if a system doesn't work, and it seems that the system does not encourage the younger generations, the truth is there will be a likeness of young people running into negative vices, doing stuff that will be completely away from what they have been configured, and I mean blessed to do, and thereby we will have all kinds of stuff within the land that will evaporate, it will ricochet back. We will have high crime, we will have all kind of decadence in the society. I mean, name it. It will just continue in a place where, I mean, the job market is literally not there. In a place where, there are teeming youths, talented youths that are roaming the streets. That is just like a canister is a canister to explode. Is dust of bomb powder forming, and it will explode at some point. So what this is all about is we want to form a move to encourage young ones, and to use every gifting that we have, every resource that we have, every connection that we have, to encourage young ones, to encourage them that in the midst of what may not be, they can do something with their lives. In the midst of what may not seem to be there, they can begin to create, they can begin to produce, they can begin to use what they have within themselves. I mean, look at Ayo, for example, that we spoke with running to 2-3 weeks now. It's amazing how he can use his talent of playing the saxophone and then be a blessing to people that are having their birthdays, and go there and surprise them and lift up their spirit. And in so doing, the people are blessed. And as the people are blessed, he will also be blessed likewise, both spiritually and physically. And in the next few weeks, we are going to be showcasing so many things as we build up to when we are going to, by the grace of God, we are still going to have seminars and different stuff in which we're going to have accumulation of young ones and begin to pour out onto them. Begin to let them appreciate and understand that there is so much more to life. There's so much to life. There's so many opportunities that are out there. There's so many things that can be created out of nothing. And the amazing thing for us as Christians, as believers, is that the whole world that exists today, this whole world that has over 7 billion people therein today, this whole world that has thousands of billionaires, thousands and thousands of millionaires, and what have you. In this same world, from where people have done all sorts and they have become something, this world was created out of nothing. The Bible tells us clearly that in the beginning the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, isn't it? And then God said, let there be light, and let the firmament separate themselves. Then let there be lesser light, and let there be higher light. And God started to separate. That was how the whole world was formed, isn't it? Out of completely nothing. So we want to begin to encourage young ones that out of what may seem like nothing, they can begin to bring forth beauty out of ashes. They can begin to bring forth treasure out of pressure. They can begin to bring forth all kinds of blessings of the Lord from this self-same earth. There's so many blessings, there's so many riches that is covered up in pressure, covered up in dust, covered up in chaos, covered up in lack of structure, lack of excellence. There's so many blessings that can come out of there. And that is what this is about. That is what I am doing. To encourage and to showcase and to let young people know that there is so many blessings that lies in the treasures and in this earth. And they must begin to bring it forth to the glory of the living God. All right. This is what I want you to do for me, just for a few of us that is here now. I'm going to go offline, then I'm going to come back again. And I'm sure by that time, our guest will be here. All right. Okay. I think I can see him now. Abiodun Seg is here. Okay. Woo! We are looking forward to having this discourse. This great young man. Okay, whereas we're waiting for him to get on. Okay, I trust that we're not going to have any connection issues this evening. All right, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Yes. The great sage himself. Okay, now. All right. Just adjust my camera and then I'm good. Good evening. Can you hear me? Connection issues again. Typical. Okay. Wow. All right. I'm sure he's trying to connect. Woo. It's amazing, you know, when we are trying to make something happen. And then what opportunities that technology affords us these days. Technology is there sometimes to boost up what we are doing, and sometimes it can be like a slug into what we are doing. But I'm sure he's going to try and connect back again. So welcome everybody. Welcome. I see my wife. I see Ebunluwa. God bless you. You are all welcome. Ayo is still there. Dabuju is still there. All right, let's get all the multitude of people that will join us on seasons and let them begin to come. And let them join us. Let's join us. I believe that the discourse that we're having it's so necessary. I believe it's so important. Each of us, perhaps, that is on now, that is an adult, we used to be teenagers. We used to be youths. We used to be young adults before we became what we became. Some of us had early years in Nigeria. Some of us are not from Nigeria, but we are just friends to people that are from Nigeria. And we have had different bouts of how our upbringing was, what we were exposed to. And then we had an opportunity to be out of the country. And in being out of the country, we have built family for ourselves. But there are many of us that, like us, like yourself, that refuse to be detached from your country of nativity. And rightfully so. We should not be detached. We should do everything in our power, everything in our ability to make sure that we take progress. I like progress into our great country. You are a major gift to our nation. I am a major gift to our nation. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to light up all our treasures, light up all our giftings, and then we'll be a major blessing in our own lifetime. That is what we have chosen to do. And I believe and I trust that you are going to journey with us as we embark on this great journey, this mighty journey. And I believe that, you know, once you find that thing that you are passionate about and you begin to ride on it and you begin to drive it, that is the thing that we should do. Let us encourage our young ones. Let's encourage them. So I'm still asking, I'm still calling as many of us that know of young people that are doing exceptional things, please let us get them on board. I want to speak to them. I want to engage them. I want to find out how they are doing what they are doing. I want to find out how they are surviving, running their businesses, what they do, how they do it, and how they make ends meet. I'm interested in such stories, and I believe that the world wants to listen to such stories. We want to listen to such stories. We want to listen to how their seasons has been, how they've been able to survive. And that is what we have heard in the last few episodes, how these young men have been able to determine of themselves that, you know what, this is what we want to do with our lives. We want to make positive impact. We want to be a blessing. We want to use what we have. And we just don't want to sit around. We don't want to be idle. We don't want to be passive. We don't want to be a nuisance to the society. We want to engage. We want to be a blessing. We want to add value. We want to add value to our society. And that's what that's what we're excited about. All right, let us give it a go again. All right. Okay. That's what we're excited about. And that's what this is all about. We want to get to know of their story. All right. Wow. Abiodun Sage, welcome to Seasons.
Good evening, sir.
You are welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you very clear.
All right. Great, great, great. We are also trying to hear you.
Can you hear me very clearly?
I can hear you to a degree, but we can't see you clearly. It's a bit dark where you are.
I had to look for somewhere to park. I was coming from, I left the office to a place as I was rushing.
Wow,
Time was against
wow. Wow. I can see that you are I can see you are sweating.
Yes,
wow.
I had to leave here.
Wow. Thank you for being here. You know what?
Yeah.
You just be comfortable wherever you are. Just settle down. We want to have a conversation with you. So just be wherever you are, and technology will afford us the opportunity to just hear you. What we are interested in this evening is to hear your story, is to hear your amazing story, to hear your inspiring story. And that's what we want to try and do. So get yourself comfortable wherever you are and let us begin to talk. Is that okay?
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I'm fine here.
All right. Great, 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 great. Okay. God bless you. You are welcome. Abiodun, aka Sage, the great man himself. Okay. So for the benefits of people that do not know you, that are watching us, and the multitudes that will still watch this later, so please just do well to introduce yourself to us. Who are we speaking with this evening? Who is Abiodun Sage? Let's kick off with that.
Okay, yeah, good evening, everyone. As my daddy has said, I'm Abiodun Sage. I'm a Yoruba man from Nigeria. My father's name is Okumuyide. So I'm sure a lot of people will be wondering what's the Sage about. Is he a Nigerian? I'm Nigerian by blood, by nature. But along the line, I needed to discover myself. I needed to find out what it is about me, what exactly I'm been born to do, I'm meant to do, because I could do a lot of things, a whole lot of things. I could paint, I could play the music, I could play the drum, I could play the sax, I could play the bass, the engine. I could do server stuff for banks and all of this stuff. I know so much about IT, but in the midst of it all, I told myself, it doesn't make any sense to be a jack of all trade and master of.
Yeah.
I could do media. I studied fine and applied art. So fine art has been a thing for me from the start. This is my 23rd or 25th year doing fine and applied art. Fine and applied art. So it has been on. So that's who I am. I'm a lover of God, a deep lover of God. Because I couldn't have gotten to this place without the help of God. I got to this point with the help of God, with the acknowledgement of God, and with the following the lead of God. And that I mean to bother or bug anybody. At some point in my life, I had to face God. God, what is it? What is it? I could do all of these things, but I know you didn't send everybody to do many things. You sent everyone to do just one thing. So that is who I am. I love fine arts. I love God. I love music. But at some point, I needed definition, because Nigeria is not a country where you could just gamble. Nigeria is a place where there is no system for anybody. So if there's no system for anybody, you can't just gamble. You can't say, okay, this is what I want to do. Let me try this. Let me try that. So when I said I got to this point by the help of God, is due to the fact that I sought out the face of God. God, what exactly should I do? I have all this talent. Which of this one should I focus my energy on? And I also discovered that from messages we hear in churches, that one is to find vision. From vision, other things will come in. And that was how I discovered that in the midst of all these things I could do, I was sent to lift up the banner of God in praise and worship. But at the time, I was already doing graphics, media, and all of this stuff. So I told God, so should I just dump graphics and focus on media, knowing that we're in an era whereby you cannot be a minister without work. My Bible says faith without work is dead. So I cannot just be a minister without having to work. How would I pay for the bills? How would I be able to pay for the events, rehearsals, and all of this stuff? And that was where God told me a particular time. He said that you are going to run your media. It will be a channel of your blessings. It will be a channel where I will send the blessings, but it will not be the source of my blessings. So that was how I was able to know what my media was supposed to do and what my music was supposed to do. My music is my assignment, is what I've been born to do, what I've been asked to do, what I've been created to do. Just like a fish in an ocean, a fish in an ocean is already in its or natural habitat. Bring that same fish, we won't survive. So at that point in time, I learned that the music industry, the gospel music industry, is my natural habitat. But I told God I needed to survive. I needed to feed. Family has to come in between the lines. A minister without family is not complete. So how would I fend for all of this? Is knowing that gospel music has been known generally for a charity kind of business or industry. That was why God told me, sit down with media, and all the blessings, it will be a channel, but it will not be.
All right, that's good. Okay, so as a young man,
Yes, sir.
as a young man, you were trying to to get the bearings of life and what you needed to do and the path that you wanted to go. So how did, and let's make this, let's make it continuously very brief, because we have several questions we want to ask you.
Okay. Okay.
So how did you start your media business? How did you start the media business as a young man, of the many things that you can do? So how did you start that media business?
Okay, sir. To make it very, very, very brief, there's a statement I work with. Start anyhow. Because over here, like I said, Nigeria is not a place where there's a system or there's a structure. I remember that particular year, I told myself, what actually makes an office? Because I didn't have the money for an office. I didn't have the money for a table or a chair. But I told myself, okay, what exactly is an office? And I told myself, an office is a place where we have tables and we have chairs and we have people sitting in it. So to the glory of God, I remember there was a particular small room in my dad's house. So I told myself, okay, this room is vacant. I placed the chair there and I placed the table there. I sat down on it. I put my computer on it and I said, this is my office. No clients, no form of any service whatsoever. I just told myself, I'm going to start. And I started. And if you ask me once again, I said, I started anyhow, and it has moved, that evolved over time.
Wow. Awesome. So when you started your business,
yes, sir.
At what point, when did you actually start your first business? How old were you when you started your first business?
I started when I was 24.
Wow.
24.
Wow. And so what was the initial journey like? So here you are, a young man, 24-year-old, and you were determined that this is what you want to do. So in the initial years, what would you say, what were your challenges and what was your encouragement?
Okay, if you ask me, my biggest challenge, well, at this point, I would not say it was a challenge. It was more like a motivator because the challenges were there. One is the business was not structured. It was just me trying to get a living for myself, get a start for myself. And then basically, of course, in Nigeria, one of the biggest challenges to any young person trying to start a business is actually light, NEPA ideas and funding. But at that point in time, I told myself, any business idea that cannot fund itself is not a valid business idea. Any business idea that cannot initiate from the ground upwards without a source of income is a joker. Because the matter is that before capital investors will come and meet you, they want to see what you have done. They want to see what you have been to. Nobody wants to invest in any business without any form of investment. So these were my motivation. And I told myself, I said, the GT Bank will celebrate today, the UBA Bank will celebrate today. One man took the risk against all odds. Yes, they were educated, but the question is they started. Myself, at what age do I want to start? At what age do I want to stop working? And at what age do I want to sit down and just be looking at my screen, counting the dollars, scrolling after having built all the systems over time? So for me, I was motivated because I just wanted to do something for Nigeria. I wanted to do something that my name could be on. Because over the years, my upbringing, my lifestyle, all my NYC days was all about not what Nigeria can do for you, but what you can do for Nigeria.
That's good.
Because at some point, it had become a dumping ground. That become a place where everybody just coming to dump what they have to do. Everybody's a consumer. Nobody's producing anything anymore. So I told myself, I'm going to take this risk. But all with the in the capital knowledge of the fact that I've been sent to the music industry. So I said, I have to work. So my biggest challenge was the fact that there was no fund. Light was, of course, zero. Client was zero. Everything was at zero level. But my biggest motivator was this. UBA started by one man. Was started by one man. Dangote that we are celebrating today, started. Every big name I'm mentioning today, 50 years ago, they took the risk to leave the confines of their offices, of their salary earning, homes, to start something that they never knew what would happen to it in the nearest future. So the pioneers we are celebrating today were the brokers 70 years ago who had no idea of where they were going. So I told myself, I think I'm going to be the next millennial billionaire. I've got to start now.
Wow, that's good. Okay, so you kicked off and then the business started. How did you move from, how did your clientele, how did it grow? What did you do within what you've described now that, you know, there was no structure in the business, but you started with such a great motivation that I want to do something for myself. I want to do something that my name will be on. I want to be a blessing, which was a great thing. And so you picked up that motivation and then you began to run with it. So how did your clientele grow? And what did you do along the way to add structure to your business as a young person?
Okay, my clientele grew by being, like I said, everything starts and ends with God. Because I needed to, after being on the desk for a while, I just need to pray, God, do something about this business. I need ideas. But in between the lines, I was studying some other business as models, like GT Bank and some of these big names I've mentioned. I discovered that as big as they are, they're still looking for the 100 nairas. 100 nairas. So I began to tell myself, if a small business like me cannot aim for 100 naira, 200 naira from people, they have not started. So I picked up the model of GTB, who was actually giving out free account on 0 naira at the point where no Nigerian bank would open an account for anybody without the sum of 5,000 naira or 50,000 bucks. GT Bank came with a mad idea that you guys can open an account, FOC, nothing in your account. And so I saw that a big brand was initiating ideas. They were coming up with ideas, think tank. So I told myself, I need to come up with an idea. So how did I grow my clientele? I told myself, okay, nobody knows what I'm selling. Nobody knows the taste of my food. One of the best ways, okay, I think I read a particular book called Built to Last. And I read how Coca-Cola migrated from a zero brand to a mega brand. And one of the things was they will go to a particular city with their Coca-Cola and create like a festival and give out free drinks to a whole lot of persons. While at the back end of that city, they will have dropped some bottles, some containers with some stores. In case people, after drinking their drink, will now say, oh, please, where did we get this drink? So they were using FOCs to attract people. So I said, what FOC can I give out? So I started coming up with ideas like, you know what, get one design, we'll give you 3, we'll give you 4. We started coming up with the fact that, okay, what do businesses actually need? Some person says they have an event, they have a flyer. I look beyond it. I said, okay, if you have a flyer, if you want to do an event and you have a flyer, what else do you need? So I also came up with the principle of give more than your clients can ever give you. Give more value such that your clients will think is paying you less. So if a client tells me I want a design, I would come up with 4 other solutions that I feel the business would need. So I started growing my clientele based on one FOC, started coming up with the fact that if somebody asks me for a design, I give him either 4 extra. Not just 4 extra that is just useless, but 4 like, okay, for instance, we have seasons and we are bringing for guests. I will go as far as giving the client something like a thank you ad, something like coming soon. You know, I started coming up with extra content beyond what everybody would have done. And I brought down the price because I knew that for me to attract customers, I need to be pocket friendly. So I agree with by giving FOCs, picking special holidays. For instance, we started with one idea called Holiday Idea. On October 1st, which is an holiday on May 27th or February 14th, which we still do today, or December 25th. We still do go around big names that we are friends, are my friends, my mentors, my daddies. I just give them free ads on that day, and everybody feels like, wow, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You've done for me over the last 2 years, haven't you?
We just said, you know what, in fact, they got to a point, we had issues with clients coming to our office. I said, how can we have an office and people don't come? You know what, let's do something. So we came up with an initiative that was very fantastic, but the idea came from the fact that we want people to just come into the office. So we were brainstorming back to back. We were giving, the third philosophy we're working with is hard work does not kill.
That's right. That's right.
Hard work does. In fact, every time we now came up with a policy. Anybody that comes to our table, we have a 24 hours policy. Or in fact, by the time I met you, it came.
Wow. Okay, now we have you back.
We started with a 48-hour policy, and I said, why should we spend 48 hours to offer a client a good service? No way. So we started working hard to make sure that we beat our competitors. And we made a statement that anytime anybody comes to our table, We didn't want them to say, "Oh, nice one, well done." We wanted them to come with a comment like, "Wow, thank you, thank you, thank you." So we were working extra hard. And the last philosophy we work with, we must never give an excuse. We must never give an excuse because the market is so tough. We are at the bottom line. We must not give an excuse. We must be creative. We're just creative thinkers, basically.
That's great. That's great. That's great.
Such that we now have to come to a point whereby we have clients we have been nurturing for 5 years, 7 years, and sometimes we made so much loss because sometimes they were not ready to pay. They were not ready to pay, but we had to make sure that beyond the money, we must create value. We must build relationship. We must build a system that is based on people and all of that. And all of that. So that was how we started. And that was how we grew up.
Awesome. You know, I remember a conversation that we had.
Yes, sir.
I think it was a year before. And I was very, very, very impressed. I was impressed with your commitment. I was impressed with your mindset and what you believe that you want to deliver, and then how to continue to deliver it and to sustain it. And it was quite impressive. So the next question I want to ask you is, within what you've described now, so you've moved your business on, you've started with the commitment, then the business started to grow, clientele started to increase, you came up with some great ideas, which were fantastic ideas that you give more, and then you also, in giving, you also receive, which is also a biblical principle. So that started to happen. At some point, you wanted people to come to your office and all that. Now, the next question I want to ask you is this. As a young man within the great nation of Nigeria, and within the few things you've described now, that we've had issues with our system, we've had issues with trying to run businesses, not even small businesses, big businesses, micro businesses, and medium-sized businesses, trying to thrive in what may be like, I'm sorry to say, a systemless society. So did you ever get to a point where you felt, you know what, I can't hack this anymore. I'm just going to get out of the country? And then were there things that that were fueling that, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. This thing is not working. They just want to pack it up.
Yeah. The truth of the matter is, at some point, every businessman will say they didn't know what to do. At some point, in fact, I remember during the lockdown, my wife had to tell me to go look for a job. You know, I remember friends calling me that, "Are you sure you know what you are doing?" But I just had this tenacity that, one, Nigeria is a green soil, because so green that the Chinese will have to come in. From Europe will have to come in. How come we are here and not seeing it? And when they build systems, they use us to build systems, and we that are here are not so enlightened to the point that we are supposed to build systems. So at some point, I got fed up. Well, some of the what's it called, tensions came from home, because what I was bringing was not commensurate. But what has kept me going is that any brand that could produce 5,000 naira, or let's just say $5, has the tendency to produce 5 billion.
Come on,
it's
now.
All on the driver.
That's right.
Who is driving, and it's all bogged down to time. Just 5 years in business professionally, how dare me compare myself with GTB, who has been there for more than 40 years? So it makes no sense to begin to assume that by now I should have a breaking point. The system has changed. The world has changed. The world economy has changed. A whole lot of things has changed, such that for businesses right now to grow and have a strong roots in a country like Nigeria, you would have to prove yourself over the years. And I discovered that tough times don't last.
That's
except for
right. Tough people do.
to do. I've read biographies. I've seen a lot of stories. I've seen stories like stories of Bishop Oyedepo who started from nothing. Adeboye started from nothing. All these great names started from nothing. In the midst of obscurity. At least in those times, there was no internet. There was no... And they made it. They stood there. There was riots. There was war. There was civil war in Nigeria. It wasn't like there wasn't all these things we were facing there back then. They had their context, but they stood. So I told myself, one of the things that makes big brand and small brand is not the fact that they are just working, but they have decided never, regardless of what comes our face. So one of the challenges I've had, or I've had downtimes, yes, I've had to look for a job. In fact, I remember at that time I had to look for a job, and I was looking like a fool because I was like, what am I going to go and do? You know, but I still had to follow my wife. I listened to my wife. I went to the interview and I told myself, Mr. Man, you're on the wrong lane. And I came back home. I thought,
wow.
This thing, well, I think, so I just made the decision. It's either it works or it works. And I've let anybody who gets to that point in time where he says that it's either it works or it works, definitely most of the time ends up scaling through.
That's right.
The end of most of the time scaling through. So I decided that if this man could do it, this person could do it, this brand could do it. It wasn't like they could afford all the billions when they started. But they at some point they had a major breakthrough. They had a connect, they had a contract, they had a relationship, they had the services they had to render, and they had to scale up, and it became a mega brand.
All right, great. So can you just take us through in a minute or two?
Yes, sir.
I know there are two sides of you. There's the side of media empire, and then there's a side of your giftings and music.
Yes, sir.
Now, looking at your media brand, so from point A to point B, can you take us through very quickly how you operate?
Okay, basically,
like a brief comes from a client. So how do you go from entry to output? So how do you operate?
Well, I operate on both sides, but I have the understanding of times and seasons, and that has always helped me. I took my lessons from the story of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was first a professional before he was a savior. Jesus Christ was, for 29 years, was a professional carpenter. Nobody knew him.
Come on now.
Nobody knew him. But at a particular timing, a time came where he had to ascend or drop his professionalism and face ministry. So I've learned over the years that when it comes to ministry, when it comes to God's business, it is timed. And until one passes the test of time, you might not cross that bridge. So I learned that Jesus, even at age 29, was still knocking some person's roof, was still doing some carpentry, such that when he came back to Galilee or his own country, nobody believed that. They were like, is it not this guy that just nailed my chair? You call him a savior? No way. So I've been able to understand that in this time of my life, I'm meant to build the media. Not neglecting my music, which is my assignment. But I knew Jesus did not neglect it. He was always going back to the temple. So at this point, I've been able to give myself, okay, this is a business I'm doing. It is not my ministry, just a business. My focus is to build a system that can allow me to step out of the system and run the assignment before me.
All right. So what I was asking Sage is, on the media side of your business, I want you to describe to us how that operates. So how do you, when a job comes in, how is it done and how is it delivered? That was my question. So how does your typical day in your business work? How does it run? How does it operate? So getting the brief, and what you guys do, and then how you, so describe that to us.
Okay, for instance, let me describe today as an example.
Okay.
Most of the people work over times come through referrals.
All right.
So we've already built a system whereby once you want to send us a work, you can either send it through a WhatsApp, send it to me, or send it through a mail. By the grace of God, we are at the point whereby we have team members who can virtually do what I can do. And if enough, they can do it at least 80%. So once the job comes in, I look at it, okay, this can be sent to somebody else because, of course, it's an ongoing job. So most of the time on a daily basis, our WhatsApp at the office is always like a business room.
That was good. Okay.
Because a lot of people don't have the time and the energy to say, you know what, let me send the mail. So we allow the people to say, whatever you want to send it via WhatsApp. We are able to convert it to a system. So most of the time, works come through WhatsApp, discussions, corrections, analysis come through WhatsApp, pricing comes through WhatsApp, and after that, we now look at what needs to be done and assign that role to someone in the team. Okay, you can handle this at the moment while we are doing this. So by the time, maybe for instance, I'm on Mr. A work and a work is coming for Mr. B, I look at it, I say, okay, you know what? I cannot leave Mr. A work at the moment. Okay, Mr. Dare, please attend to Mr. B's work. Do what you can do and make sure that we're able to still meet the 24 hours timing. So while I'm on Mr. A's work, I'm rushing to round up to make sure that Mr. B's work is also attended to. So on a daily basis at the office, it's always like we are always juggling between one client's work to another client's work based on priorities. Some are also based on relationship. Some are based on premium. Like we have so many retainers. So once retainers works comes in, we already have somebody handling all of those stuff. But largely, most of the work is still handled by me because everybody wants to speak with the set man. Everybody wants the set man to communicate with them. So it has been challenging because everybody will say, oh, we've asked series of time whereby somebody will tell us, oh, Sage, you didn't do this work, somebody else did it. Meanwhile, sometimes I could be the one who could have done it, but because of timing and my busy schedule, I might not be able to give 100%. So on a daily basis, that's how we run.
Okay.
We run. Most of the time, we run 24 hours. Most of my team members, either with me personally or in the office 24 hours. Except for the Sunday.
All right. So how many people do you have working with you now?
I have 4 people.
Are they also youths working with you? And then, okay, yes. How many people do you have working with you now?
Right now, you know, last time we spoke, I remember we had a chat during the lockdown, and I think I stated out my challenge because we couldn't pay some of these people and they left. So after COVID, I had to structure myself. I said, okay, guys, come back, please. We have some pending jobs. So right now we have 4 persons working with me. As one person is always with me everywhere I go. For the sake of, not because of anything, just because I could be busy, maybe like in a chat room like this, and the client is requesting for something. Okay, Mr. Man, I'm always with my system all the time because, like we said, we don't like to give an excuse for anything.
Okay, that's good. So then the other thing I want to ask you is that these young people that are working with you,
yes,
do you have a sense of what you are doing and what you have done, as in different ways also encourage them as youths to also see the need to have something positive, something impactful being done? Okay. So you have other youths working with you, and within yourself, you have a sense of, you know what, I have been able to encourage these guys. I've been able to encourage my fellow youths, my friends. And in so doing, they have also taken on the use of their talent and the use of their skills in positive ways.
Yes, yes, yes. One of my biggest attributes is a leader is not a leader until he has created multiple leaders.
That's right.
A business, a success, you are not a success until you have been able to create many successors.
Mm-hmm.
One of our biggest testimonies that we have never employed any on a BSc holder. But most of the time, I don't look out for them.
Mm. That's
Not
great.
because, not because of anything, but I had this passion that if I started this while I'd finished my school days, because Nigeria is you just need to be brain working. We've had series of testimonials. At least right now on our table, we have about 4 young SSE holders who are earning as close to 160,000 naira per month.
Wow.
Who has
Wow.
worked with me
Wow.
as in 160. I'm not joking, sir. One works with Wallet Africa. One works with Hip Hop, Hip TV. Yes, Hip TV. You know, so one decided to say, I'm going to start my own. So
Wow.
we created people or built people to a point whereby, Mr. Man, I think it's our time to leave. Go and replicate. But
Wow.
one of our big stories that a particular man came in by name Sheyi, and he lost his dad in the process. In fact, I had to, in a way, steal a laptop for him. I told one of my pastors that, sir, this your system is not good. But actually, it's good. So I had to give the guy, come, learn this thing, sit down. Yeah, start doing this stuff. Not knowing that I was buying him his future.
Wow. Wow.
As I speak, the guy is hot cake in Nigeria. Hot cake.
Wow. Wow.
About 4 of them. I can send you their Instagram handles to check them out right away. They are doing excellently fine. So there's no point. There's been no point where everybody comes into the company. I let them understand that, one, you must have your personal clients.
Mm-hmm.
But that's must go here. Because you're not just here to work with me and make my. You're here to learn, integrate your experience, then launch out as well.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
In fact, we started an initiative called. I'm with you, sir.
These are great testimonies. These are great testimonies. And this is essentially the things that I'm really excited about in doing what we are doing. To hear testimonies like this of young people lighting up themselves. Scripture says iron sharpeneth iron.
Yes,
and
sir.
What you just described now has just totally made my day. You know, that what you have done and you are doing, you were able to encourage and fire up other young people who have gone ahead now and they are doing fantastically well. Well done. Well done for that. Kudos to you. Well done. Well done.
Whereby other media firms would call us and say, sir, we need some graphics guys because we build. Make sure that they are on their own.
That's great. All right. I know you have so many things that you are doing. We still have about 2-3 questions for you before we sign off. Sign you off this evening. So, say.
Yes, sir.
We know that we have a great country.
Yes, sir.
We know that there are issues.
Yes,
and
sir.
we're grateful for young men like yourself that are not sleeping on those issues and
yes,
are not continuously complaining about those issues, but you just get on with it, and you are doing something great. You are doing something productive. I am a benefactor of your gift and your talent. You know, our church is a benefactor of your gift and your talent. You know, of what you are doing or what you have done, and people have asked us, "Oh, who did this for you? Did this for you?" And that is awesome. So what I now want you to tell us in just a very brief moment before we ask you the last 2 questions is, what is the Nigeria of your dream as a young man who also see of young people, who work with young people, who has young people in your conglomerate, in your business, in your music also? What would you say is the Nigeria of your dream that will encourage young people, that will be a ground for young people to have a sense of belonging. So I want you to describe that Nigeria of your dream.
Well, for me in particular, the Nigeria of my dream is a Nigeria where there is the system. People stop being a consumer.
Mm.
I just wish everybody can be a producer.
Mm.
What makes America great is because we have tons of producers
Mm.
who didn't wait for the system.
Mm.
It wasn't like America built a system for Americans. Americans built a system for America.
That's right.
You know, so the Nigeria of my dream is to wake up one day and see people stop buying iPhone of 4.5 million, you know, or rather put that resources in a life, put that resources in a young boy, in a young school, you know, that's my Nigeria of my dream. Because I know that of all the historical events in the world, there is no country who has built a system for its people. Most of the time, it's always the people who built a system for the country. I just wish our youth can wake up. I've been on that campaign for so many years and I'm still on it, you know, making sure that youth you don't have to look. Sometimes I'm always sad when I see a graduate looking for a job. I'm always like, what? 5 years in school, you're now still looking for you're not built to look for a job, you are built to create a job. But of course the system is so porous that poverty has eaten everybody and everybody is now looking for a shortcut, a way to survive. But all of this came because I heard FD talk one day about Nigeria, and I saw that okay, this is a green land. A land of obscurity is where there's a lot of opportunities. So I told myself, I'm going to be a builder. I'm going to be a builder than just being somebody who wants to escape. Or those who escape, it's not like they didn't want to build. At some point, they got frustrated. It's people. But I've seen several people who are never frustrated by it, who overcome the frustrations and say, yes, I'm going to escape, but at the same time, I'm going to build.
And that's what we want to continue to hear. We want to hear such mindsets like this. We want to encourage mindsets like this. That you know what, you can get off the streets, you can get off the complaint room, and you can come out of the complaint room and then go out there and begin to do something productive. I mean, I watched a young man some time ago who started, keke business and had other fellow young men like himself, right, properly dressed up corporately. I've seen all kinds of people, we've had on this platform, young men that are in producing, young men that are manufacturing. I mean, this is the 5th edition, and I'm just blown away with the zeal and what I pick up from what you're saying, the passion, self-motivation, how you continue to just strive to do something productive. And that is so commendable. That is so commendable. And that Nigeria of our dream, in our lifetime, I trust that we're going to see that Nigeria of our dream. We're going to see.
Amen. Yes. God. Yeah.
All right. Yes. So, with all you do in the media industry, many things you have done for me, you've done for us, and you do for several your huge clientele.
Yes, sir.
Now, are you a PVC carrier? You have your PVC?
I remember last 2015 election where Buhari came on board. I was in Aso Rock. I was campaigning for Good Luck as a social media person, and I was campaigning, telling Nigerians that I made a statement. In fact, I saw the artwork I did yesterday on my system.
Wow.
I wrote that I will never vote for somebody who I was told was a president while I was in GSS2. And now that I've finished, he's still coming back to be a president. It makes no sense. A lot of pastors, I fought with a lot of pastors. $40 persons. Now, to answer the question, do I have a PVC? Last election, which was, I think it was another election again. I don't know. Second time Buhari. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's the second time. But I remember I went to the polling booth, and there were about 7 youths in my compound, grown-ups. And I said, why are you guys not voting? They said, our voting don't count. I said, I don't understand. But at least come out first. So by the time I got to the polling booth, I saw 80% of elderly men.
Yep.
So about 10% of young men and young women. So just so I have a PVC. I always vote since the days of AD. Since the days of AD. And I've always right course. I've always been voting. I tell people the youth of Nigeria today are the biggest problem because they don't come out to vote. They leave it for this guy, the 60-year-old guy who just come to rational that the president not knowing that times and seasons has changed, economy has changed.
All right, that's good. All right, so I mean, the most important thing is the Nigeria of your dream that you've just described now.
Yes, sir.
That Nigeria of your dream will become reality.
Yes, sir.
With the power of a voter's card.
Yes.
And that is that is the most important wake-up call to every Nigerian at this time.
Yes, I agree.
That the most important weapon that we have is a weapon of one person can make a difference.
Yes, so
that's what I trust and I believe. That's great. That's great. Well done. Well done, well done, well done. That is great. That is great. That is the place where the change happens. That's the place where the change happens. All right. So where do you see your business in the next few years?
Wow. I see my business in the next few years as a mega brand or an household brand. Helping, in fact, the biggest part of our business will be raising a lot of youths. Helping youths to survive the times, to understand what they need to do to become a builder. I'm making a lot of money, but I see a business that is going to be empowering a whole lot of young people, regardless of their class.
All right.
I remember I had an interview with a lady 4 years ago who just saw one of my work. I was like, I was telling the client, please, who did this work? I need to learn from this person. And this lady spent 3 years with me, but right now she's wow. And yet, funny enough, she's just a secondary school holder.
Wow. Awesome.
You know, so I see business as a brand that is building generals, raising young people in the industry, such that some of them will just, but I see the business whereby the economy will have to make it a form of certification that if you have not been to Union Media, you have not been to school.
That's great. That is great. That is great. That is great. And that is a great vision. Have one that is massive, have one that is great.
Yes, sir.
That it's only God that can walk you through the attainment of it. So well done. Well done. Fantastic vision, fantastic dream, fantastic vision, fantastic. Well done. The closing remarks that we always do on seasons is 5 lessons that the seasons of your life so far has taught you as a young man, as a young man that started a business, that have endeavored to make the business work, that you have embraced God, embraced your faith, and that you have used everything that you have to make end meet, to provide.
5 lessons.
Here you are today, built up clientele, met great people, and still doing fantastic works all over. So what would you say, how can you narrow down 5 lessons that life has taught you thus far?
Okay. Wow, that's deep. That's deep. Okay, I think the first major one is always take every opportunity without considering the outcome.
Okay.
Why that is because I remember everything I'm using to build a system right now came as a result of the fact that I learned how to repair a generator at some point. I could
Wow.
repair a ceiling, I could repair TV, I could open up a system, I could do networks, I could do Cisco networking for banking. At some point, a friend of mine had to call me and say, Abi, I'm having issues with my bank server. Please, can you come and help me? I know you are very good at this thing.
Wow.
So one of my lessons is that everybody growing up must not say, I cannot do this. Or for instance, maybe if somebody who has been doing music finds himself doing bricklaying, you should take up the opportunity, because over time, that experience is not lost. It's going to be
That's right.
integrated at some
That's
point in
right.
time.
That's
So
right.
I've built a lot of opportunities into this. That's number one lesson. Number two lessons I've learned over the years is to listen to people, listen to clients, listen to friends. Just make sure you have a listening ear, because one of the ways God will speak to us is somebody will just come. I remember when I met you and you were saying some things about having teams, having to outsource. At that point in time, I was always doing most of the work. I think it was about 2018, because I felt most of my team members could not achieve the level of delivery. But you said, assigned some of this work. Sometimes they might not be able to do it, but let them do it. And once you are done with what you just go and oversee, and okay, you know what, this is what you should do. So I've over the years learned to listen to clients. I've listened to a lot of voices. So a good listener will always do well.
That's great. That is so true. That is so
And
true.
that brings me to the third lessons. Never ever say you are done or you are tired. I learned, but it's one of my biggest. Anytime I'm like this and I say I'm tired, I tell myself, what have you done that you're tired? Don't know. You have not even started. So I've learned over the years never ever to give up. I've learned from stories. I've seen from stories. Someone like Fatai Rudi Dollar, who became a hit at the age of 70. You know, some of these people wasn't like they knew what they were going to do, but just through them moving. So most of my biggest because always keep moving, never give up. No matter how life blows, throws you, just I will keep moving. What lesson is never to do without God.
That's right.
And in practical terms, I mean that at some point in the office, we've had to do fasting and prayers. No work. And what are we fasting and praying for? We're not fasting and praying for the business to grow. We are fasting and praying for other people's businesses to grow. We've learned over the years, whatsoever seed you sow, you will reap.
That's right.
So instead of us saying,
Absolutely.
help this business, we just pick some other and say, God, help this person. This man is struggling. Just fast and pray. We just intentionally, in fact, you did every fourth day of every month in media is dedicated for praises. We're just praising God. Because in between the hard work, the non giving up spirit, there is an endowment from heaven that is helping a man to succeed. It's
That's
not
right.
ordinary. I can't say it.
That is
Uh,
right.
and the last lessons, which is the ongoing lesson I've learned, is always evolve. Involvement is the hardest part of any man's life. Sometimes it's always challenging. It's always because our artificial by we just need to evolve. So when this invite came out, wow, these are signs to our involvement, because we just told ourselves, okay, we can't settle at this level anymore. We need to step up. I've learned over the years that be patient, but always understand the time of involvement. There's always time to evolve. If you miss it, you're still going to go back to it.
That's
So
right.
my number one, like I said, take every opportunity in life. It's going to add up. You might not know it's going to add up, but it is going to add up.
Mm-hmm.
Number
Mm-hmm.
two, I think I said be a good listener. It
Mm.
helps. Really
Mm.
helps. Really,
Mm.
really helps. I
Okay.
think the third one should always forgot it.
Don't get
Uh,
tired.
don't get tired. Never ever stop. Don't just
Mm-hmm.
come to a point where I'm closing this thing down. I'm going to move to this one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Never say it, because any business that can produce 1 naira can produce 1,000,
Come on now.
100,000, produce 100 million.
Mm.
It is void. It is embedded in time, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people don't. It is
Mm.
embedded in time. There is no
Mm-hmm.
two-way thing. You can't beat Dangote no matter how many billions you have,
Mm.
because not making money based on billions is making money based on experience.
Mm. Mm.
So that comes over time. Never give up. The fourth one is always, it's all about God. There is
Mm-hmm.
a spirit in man that drives him, and putting God at the center is like saying God. Like I said in a viral video of Bishop Idausa saying that any man who says God help me, God
Mm-hmm.
always God always help, and we have always intentionally dedicated time in the office to fast and to pray. In fact, to this day, every fourth day of every month is praises. It's no work,
Mm.
no, we don't want to
Just praise,
dance,
just praise God. Mm.
no
That's right.
announcement.
Awesome. 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 Well done, well done, well done. Great Sage. We are proud of you. We are proud of what you have done and what you are doing. So, all right. So, how do people get to want to follow you, want to know what you're doing? So, where can they find you?
Yes, everyone can find by just typing Abiodun Sage. It's Google, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere, every platform. Just type Abiodun Sage. Same thing with the business. Anywhere, just type Inuel Media. Inuel Media comes from the word Emmanuel. You
Emmanuel.
know, Inuel Media. Google Inuel Media. Facebook Inuel Media. However you are coming from, just type Inuel Media. You're going to find us. We are
All
always
right.
there. Always there,
That's
sir.
great. Well done. So, yes, so it's nice and great to have you on Seasons. And our prayer is that God will continue to bless the works of your hand.
Thank you, sir.
Deuteronomy
Thank
28 and verse 12, the Bible says, God will bless us the work of our hands. It's
you.
our
Amen.
prayer unto you and all the people that are working with you now and the ones that will still come into your business and your empire and your music industry, that God will bless you and you will continue to be a blessing in the mighty
Amen.
name of Jesus. As you have
Amen.
mentioned, by the grace of God, what has kept you going will continue to keep you going. The source that is from above, the hand of the Lord that has been great upon you will continue to be great upon you and upon all
Amen.
that you do in the name of
Amen.
Jesus. I am seriously persuaded that that which we have known and seen about you shall not be compared to the great things that is just ahead, even in the
Amen.
mighty name of. So well done.
Amen.
Keep on keeping well. Thank you for being a great Nigerian. Thank you for being a Nigerian that we can relate with, a Nigerian that we are proud of. So continue to do that. Continue to do your best.
Thank you,
Continue to
sir.
excel in everything that you do. Don't give less.
Yes, sir.
Continue to let Inwell Media be a product, be a brand that
Yes.
we shall be proud of, even outside of the shores of Nigeria, which you are
Amen.
already doing. I mean, you do graphics for us that we use here in UK, and that is part of it, that Inwell is a blessing beyond the shores of Nigeria. And we
Thank
are
you, sir.
proud of the brand, we are proud of what you do, and we pray, and we know by the grace of God that even the best is yet to come in the
Yes.
mighty name of Jesus. So well done, well done, well done, well done for what you
Sir.
are doing. Well done, well done, well done. God bless you. Our
Amen.
love to all your team at Inwell Media and
Yes,
all
sir.
the people that are within the Sage music industry as well. Our love to them and our blessings to them. So thank you for making our time from your busy schedule. You had to just escape from one or two things to still be here this evening.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you. And at some point I thought, wow, this man is stuck in a meeting. This man is not going to be able to make it happen. So I was going to come out of the broadcast and place a call to you, and then, you know, or that was happening. They're waiting for you. But we made it happen. We made it happen. So well done. Well done. Well done. We are proud of your story. God bless you. Bless you.
Amen. Amen.
A wonderful, wonderful evening. All right. Love to your family as well.
Always, I shake on, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Take care, yeah. Take care. All right, there you have it, folks. Episode 5, Exceptional Youths episode is. I'm just having a great time speaking to all these wonderful young men and young women to come that are doing just amazing stuff. I'm so excited to talk to them, to hear their stories and what they are doing, how they are able to, you know, start the businesses that they've started, how they are able to sustain it within the country. And I want to hear from them. I want to hear the Nigeria of their dreams. I want to hear what they are looking forward to seeing within the country, what they believe needs to be in place for them to thrive in what they are doing, in their arts, in their business, in their vocation, in everything that they do. And that's what this is about. That's what we're doing on season at this time. So by the grace of God, we're going to have some other young people join us next week. We're going to hear their story. We're going to hear what they do within the nation. And so I'm looking forward to the next episode, and I want to encourage you to please join us and let us encourage these young people. Let us hear their story. And so I want to encourage you, 7 p.m. Nigerian time here in the UK, 6 p.m. Let us gather together and let us hear these inspiring stories of these young people. So I'm really trusting God that we are going to build up much more on this. These are exciting times, exciting times, exciting times. God bless you. Thank you for being here this evening. I want to appreciate everybody that is here. I may not be able to call everybody's name, but sincerely, I am grateful to have all of you stop by this evening to just spend some time with us. I'm sincerely grateful myself and my team. We are sincerely grateful. Thank you. And if you have not follow us on social media, follow us PCA World, and let us and watch the previous episode. If you have not watch any of the previous episodes, I have had 4 other young people, and today was the 5th one. Watch this. They're amazing stories. We have great people in our great country, Nigeria. And that's what we want to talk about on Seasons. We want to talk about these inspiring stories, great stories. And that is what we are led to do. And that's why we always say on Seasons, there is a reason for every season, as there is a blessing in every season. So join us next week. By the grace of God, Tuesday, we're going to be back showcasing another youth that is doing a great work within our great country. God bless you. God bless the works of your hand and everything that you are doing. God bless you, and well done for every Nigerian that is here and non-Nigerian. Let us continue to live and everything that you are doing. God bless you, and well done for every Nigerian that is here and non-Nigerian. Let us continue to live